Hello YouTube fans, Matarant here, and welcome to an updated deck profile with Lunalite, now featuring Castle Call that has come out in the TCG very recently in Shining Victories. This will not be including the Crimson Fox and Lunalite Perfume, which are currently in the OCG. This is a promo and this is coming out in Dark Illusion. When they do come out, I will update this deck. But until then, we'll be using these. Although they are very powerful supports, this will most likely be replacing Purple Butterfly, Allure Darkness, and maybe one of the trap cards, and then Lunalite Perfume will replace most likely two of the MSTs and something else. I can't think of what exactly I would like to take out. Maybe Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon as well, just to incorporate both these cards. This is more possibly a 2 of than a 3 of, but this one is very powerful. It's the first card that is to actually have the wording of it is never treated as a Lunalite card. We probably will get future reprints with stuff like Frog the Jam with this kind of wording in the future, which is something to look forward to. Some nice random reprints. But so far, this is the first card to have this. I've also dropped the Traptrix Rafelsia engine that I originally had in the build, but you can easily put this back in by changing the Treacherous Trap Wall from an Allure Darkness to this. To add in the Rafelsia for a turn 1 play when your opponent usually makes you go first. I should stress that this is a fun deck. It's not something to be going against meta decks with, but can sometimes handle itself in those situations. Monarchs will generally be the bane of this deck, as it usually is. However, there are outs in this deck too, that mainly the White Rabbit, as it can bounce back the field spell, and MSTs because they're generic MSTs. It's because, yes, they can't really say anything more about MST essentially. I don't think Twin Twister is really needed in this deck, mainly because you don't want to discard your fusion pieces because you won't be gaining much from that. So without further ado, let's go into the deck profile. We have 2 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon and 1 Odd Eyes Unicorn. Pendulum Dragon and Unicorn are my Odd Eyes engine for this deck to gain a possibility of Pendulum Summoning. Although Pendulum Summoning is not a priority of the deck, it gives you more options. It gives you access to easier plays with rank 7s. It gives you Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, which is a Quasar for fusion game. I should say Pendulum decks, which is very nice indeed. And if you're using, when you have the scales up, you'll be able to Pendulum Summon out that Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon with your Odd Eyes Vortex already on the board, which can be good as well. But it's not, as I say, the sole purpose of the deck, so it's only a small engine. Plus it can trigger the effects of Lunalite Blue Cat and Lunalite Tiger, which can summon possibly a Blue Cats to boost up your Lunalites. This is through Sky Iris. I used to have Supply Squad in the deck, but it is a bit too slow at the moment, so it is not really necessary. Plus it can ignite your Lunalite Reincarnation Dance to add 2 Lunalites from your deck to your hand, which can be very good. Then we have the Lunalite engine itself. We have Triple Wolf, which is a miracle fusion for the deck when it's in the Pendulum scales. But remember, you cannot Pendulum summon anything else but Lunalite monsters while this card is in the Pendulum scale. Tiger does not have that restriction, but Wolf does, unfortunately. But it's still a good card. You can, when it's summoned on the board, most likely through Blue Cat's ability or Pendulum Summon, it can cause other Lunalites you control to do piercing damage, which can be very nice. I originally had H-Heated Heart in this deck to increase the option of piercing damage, but you don't really need it. This is a decent way to do so. If you want to get piercing damage out, you'll get this card out. Then we have Triple Lunalite Tiger. Lunalite Tiger has the ability to resurrect Lunalites from your graveyard and destroy them during the end phase. Their effects are negated, which is very good indeed. It allows you to go for a rank 4 engine with the Blue Cat. Most likely you need either 1 or 2 of these in the graveyard to do so. You can clock your scales with this and just make a nice generic rank 4 engine, which is an alright play, but you don't really want to lock yourself out of Wolf's Miracle Fusion effects. And when it is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon a Lunalite from your graveyard, which is very good because you can make a pseudo wall with this. Lunalite blue cats getting destroyed and summoning out Tiger getting destroyed and resurrecting your blue cats, so you have blocked 2 attacks essentially, and still back to that original Lunalite that you originally start to war with, which is very good. Lunalite Purple Butterflies returned into the build, but it's only temporary as a placeholder until we get Crimson Fox. She can power up your Lunalites by 1,000 attack by discarding herself or sending herself from the field to the graveyard, which is alright, and she can also special summon a Lunalite from your hand, so sometimes you can gain some things from her effects, most likely Blue Cat or Wolf on the board through her effects. Then we have triple Lunalite Blue Cat, a very good defensive card for the deck. If it's special summoned, it can power up a Lunalite by double its original attack, which is very good for when you're going for game, because it makes your monsters big beat sticks, and with them keeping them on the board, you can do basically double that. And when it is destroyed by battle card effect, it can special summon a Lunalite from your deck, which is also good for bringing out your piercing damage monster, or possibly bringing out a wall for whatever you need at that point. There's also some consistency when you mix this deck with Metalfoes. This was a suggestion by one of my subs, but I never got around to actually doing duels for this. I did test it a bit. It did have the synergy to get a lot of this going off, but it wasn't the best deck, I should say. It's a nice niche idea that most people don't usually pick up on. Most likely they go for Metalfoes Yang Zing or Metalfoes Monarch, something like that. But you can mix it with Lunalite with Blue Cat and Tiger, which makes a nice engine. You get your Lunalites out as well, and deck fins. And if you're discarding, if something went wrong then, if you're discarding with Lunalite Perfume, what better target than Metalfoes Fusion? You get a draw as well as a search. Very good indeed. Particularly since you run, well, some builds run 1, I prefer to run 2, just in case that Metalfoes Fusion is banished. You want your draw engine, don't you? Okay, on to the next one, which is Lunalite White Rabbit. A very good card, perfect for your turn 1 hand if you open up with this, a Root Tenki or Black Sheep, or this and Tenki, and also a Polymerization. This gives you, well, actually you don't need Polymerization, you just need these 2 essentially in your opening hand, and you've got a Cat Dancer on the board without losing more or less anything. As you would summon, you would discard the Black Sheep to add Polymerization. You would summon White Rabbit to resurrect the Black Sheep. You fuse to summon out Cat Dancer, and then you would have the Black Sheep ability to add White Rabbit back to your hand, which is very good. This card can also bait out Solemn Strikes as it bounces back row. And it can also be a Monarch out as it can bounce back that domain, which is a very annoying thing to have to deal with. Then we have triple Black Sheep. It has 3 tiers of effects. The first effect is not as used. You can add a Lunalite from your graveyard to your hand by discarding this card, which is alright, but you generally don't use that effect. Its secondary effect is used a lot, as you can discard this card to add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand. This is your King of the Swamp for the deck, because Konami made sure that King of the Swamp couldn't be accessible in this deck. So they gave you a nice niche version, which is very good, and it actually surpasses King of the Swamp because of the ability when it's sent from as a fusion material to the graveyard. You can add a Lunalite monster from your graveyard or from your extra deck to your hand, which is a really good effect because it's moving on with the times. It's moving on to the Pendulum era. We don't want just revival or re-adding from the graveyard. We also want it from the extra deck, and this card delivers that, which is very good indeed. Then onto the spells. We've got 1 Allure Darkness. I'm not 100% sure if I like this card in the deck or not. I may take it back out for Treacherous Trap Hole because I'm a bit more of a control duelist over an OTK duelist. But Allure Darkness can further your plays. It's a bit neg 1 because you do end up having to banish a Lunalite, but if you're banishing like Purple Butterfly or, well, you can't banish Wolf unfortunately because it's like attribute, you can banish all that Pendulum Dragon and you get a decent draw too. It could be the difference between you and game. So yeah, that's an alright card. I don't think 2 would be very good in the deck though. 1 Regeki, because it's Regeki, sometimes you need to clear those boards. It's also a Monarch out. Then we have triple Fusion Recovery and triple Polymerization. Polymerization is needed at 3 in the deck because You search it out, but you don't have much recovery except from Fusion Recovery. Fusion Recovery is brilliant in this deck. It's like the deck was made for it. You can target a polymerization and a fusion material from your graveyard and add them back to your hand, which is very good. Allows you to do your Panther Dancer Blaze, allows you to go for Leo Dancer and not lose all your polymerizations. Very good way of doing that. And polymerization is needed at 3 because you can add 2 polymerizations to your hand and you may want to get a third one depending on your position. Then we have 2 entities for Monarch outs, triple Castle Call, which is the reason why I've updated this deck profile, mainly because this card is pretty good. It's basically like Fusion Tag, just it is a quick play. So it can technically be used as a tag out if your monsters are about to be banished. You can summon out a fusion monster that's going to get killed at the end phase, but at least your monster is not in the wrong zone. For example, if your opponent's trying to banish Blue Cat, but you want that in your graveyard because you want to revive it with Tiger next turn, you can do this with Castle Call. You can essentially evade you out. You don't get the monster back, unfortunately, but it's decent. It's very decent. It comes out as a super rare in Shining Victories and has even further potential for doing other things in the future. It also gives you a Leo Dancer turn 1. You'll feel like you're playing Kozmo, which is always good, eh? No? Okay, that's just me. Then we got triple Tenki. Tenki is our searcher for the deck. It searches out any of our Beast Warriors except from Lunalight Wolf, which is annoying. Lunalight Wolf could only be really searched by the Lunalight Trap Card or Lunalight Perfume, which is a bit of annoyance, but yeah, you don't want to add a searchable fusion covering to your hand. Cannot be my fault, that was a bit too broken. Plus, this gives you fodder for destruction through Sky Iris, which can be very good indeed. Then we have the 2 Sky Iris, a nice Odd Eyes engine. For those who haven't checked out the Odd Eyes engine, you should really have a go with it in your Pendulum decks, mainly because it's essentially gives you a nice easy scale. You can add your Unicorn, an instant searchable scale 8 can be very good, and you don't have to put too much of an engine in, whereas Pendulum Call you had to have like 2 Dragon Pits, a Wisdom Eye and an Oath Dragon, and 3 Pendulum Call, whereas this you can just run like Sky Irises here and there and a Unicorn or 2 and you basically got a good scale 8 searcher, which is very nice indeed. Plus it has inbuilt protection for that scale 8, which is very good too. There is a scale 3 you can search out, which is Light Phoenix, but I don't really need the low scale in this deck. You can search out Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, which is also a search for your Tiger, although it a bit slow. But you can also search out Odd Eyes Persona Dragon if you're playing this online and not in IRL, which is a scale 1, and you get scale 1 to edit from this deck, which is very nice indeed. Plus it's got a really nice effect, which is basically like Unicorn. Either Unicorn or Colossalus, one or the other. And that's good. And then we have triple Lunalite Reincarnation Dance. This also sets off your Reincarnation Dance as well. Lunalite Reincarnation Dance activates when a monster you control has a strong battle card effect. It doesn't have to be a Lunalite. That's where more consistency with Lunalite with Metalfoes come in, because you can pop your blue card, special summon, and add 2 cards to your hand, which can be very powerful indeed. So yeah, essentially this adds 2 Lunalights from your deck to your hand. It can unbrick your hand essentially. Very good card. It's a shame it's a trap card. If it was a quick play spell card, this would be very, very, very powerful. Onto the extra deck, we have 1 Sky Cavalry Centura, which can be easily made through White Rabbit and Black Sheep, with the typical combo just not going for fusion summoning at that point. It's an out to Dark Destroyer and Forerunner if you want to go against that, or even Dark Planet if your opponent's playing that card. Then we have 1 Phantom Knights of Breaksword. It is a Scrap Dragon for the deck. It can be nice to combo with your Blue Cat, but it is a pricey card, so you don't have to run this. Maybe run Utopia Beyond if you feel like you're going to get your wolves out that commonly that you can go for game with that. It can be very good comboed with Lunalight, that's on 4800 attack, which can be easily done through Blue Cat and Cat Dancer. Then we have the rank 4s. 1 Abyss Dweller for PK Fire, Monarchs, whatever you want to use this for. 1 Castell, because it is Castell. 1 Broke of the Fire Fist Tiger King, because that sets Tenki from your deck and you can also negate your opponent's monster effects until the end of your next turn, I believe, or end of their turn. Then we have 2 rank 7s, 1 Big Eye. This was definitely needed when I was playing the deck, as you can easily overlay your Cat Dancer with your Pendulum Dragon and take control of your opponent's monsters. Very needed. And then 1 Dracosac, because sometimes you do need a pop, and it can be a nice defensive wall as well. Onto the fusions, we have triple Lunalight Cat Dancer. Lunalight Cat Dancer is the main monster you will summon out in the deck and needs to be a free of because you will summon out that commonly. She requires 2 Lunalights and is not a fusion reserve target. None of these are fusion reserve targets, which is annoying, but if they did, then the deck would lose a little bit of consistency. She has the powerful effect of not being able to be destroyed by battle, which is a decent wall. Usually summoned in defense mode, so you don't get Arced, but you can get Castelled, unfortunately. And during the main phase 1, you contribute a Lunalite monster you control. Each monster your opponent controls cannot be destroyed by battle once per turn. Also, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls, which goes for your OTK when you power this up to like 4,800 with Cat Dancer, not Cat Dancer, Blue Cats, and then beat down all their weak monsters for game, which is very good. She also has the horrible final effect of when it declares an attack, inflict 100 damage to your opponent. It's mandatory. If it wasn't mandatory, it would be a nice effect, a nice extension to the effect that it has. But since it's mandatory, this means it's vulnerable to Strike, and Strike is a common card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment, which is a shame. So good, but yet so far, thank you Konami. Then one Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon because it's Quasar. Then we have 2 Lunalite Panther Dancer. Panther Dancer can easily be summoned out with Castle Calling, since it doesn't require it to be when it's special summoning it, you don't have to fusion summon it to do so. It's only when it's supposed to be fusion summoned that it has to be fusion summoned with the correct materials. It has a generic effect that can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. If it could also be not destroyed by battle, it would make it a very good card, but because Konami thought that might be a bit overpowered, they didn't do that. During the main phase, it can activate the effect to attack each of your opponent's monsters, and they can't be destroyed by battle by that first attack, which is basically Lunalite Cat Dancer effect without the tribute, which is alright. And when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it gains 200 attack until the end of the battle phase. This is really useless because you don't always need that effect. It doesn't really give you game, and it's a mandatory effect. So again, vulnerable to Storm Strike, it just won't be destroyed by Storm Strike. Then we have the final one, the Lunalite boss monster, Lunalite Leo Dancer, the best fusion monster in the deck. It cannot be summoned except from it cannot be fusion summoned except from the from using the original fusion materials, and cannot be special summoned by other means, which means it's not obviously a cattle calling target, but Panther Dancer is. So this is how you get out. You cattle call your Lunalite, you probably resurrect through Tiger, and then fuse it with 2 other Lunalites, bring out Leo Dancer, possibly turn 1. It has an effect that cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects. If it could also not be destroyed by battle, it would be an extremely powerful monster, but unfortunately, that's not what Konami gave us, which is a shame. But this card still is very good. It can make an additional attack each battle phase. It doesn't need to have their monsters on the board, so it can basically work well with Regeki. Plus, when it attacks, it can, at the end of the damage step, destroy all special summoned monsters on your opponent controls, which is very good. It can out-dart destroys and stuff like that by attacking the weaker monsters, which is going to be very good indeed. Nice massive board wipe that doesn't target. Definitely good for the deck. It's mainly what makes the deck quite successful as a fun deck. It's mainly Cat Dancer's ability to attack additionally, attack into the monsters without them being destroyed, and Blue Cat's easy access to the deck, and then Leo Dancer as a big boss monster. Makes the deck very good as a fun deck. So yeah, I'd like to know what you think. Leave your comments below leave your suggestions below down in the comments. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see further content. If you want to see when I'm streaming, the information will be on my Facebook page. The link is in the description below, and click on those posts at the top of the video. I always like to know your feedback, particularly on the Let's Play OCG thing, on how you want the format to be. So thank you for watching. Matarant signing out.